There's a phrase that is known as thorn in the flesh, and I'm going to talk about it. So before you leave, please make sure that you have watched until the end, and you're going to be blessed. And if you are new in this channel, please like, subscribe, and share so that we may continue. So I'm going to share about the thorn in the flesh, and I'm going to very quickly read from the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 from verse 7, so that we may know what is the thorn in the flesh. And verse 7 says that, so to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. 3 times I pleaded the Lord above this, that he should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So these are the words of Paul, and he's saying that there's something that was given to him in the flesh to trouble him, so that he may not exalt himself above other things, so that he may not have pride and see himself as perfect than other people. And this thorn in the flesh is something that everyone, I believe, have in their lives. Even though you have not discovered this thing, you should believe that it's there. And this is a way of God to keep us humble, that we may seek him, so that he may work within us. Because I believe that all of us, we are a work in the progress, and by only seeking God and seeking for his mercy, God is able to deliver us from our pridefulness and our conceitedness. So, just to give example, in the Bible, there are some people, like everyone in the Bible, I can give example of their thorn in the flesh, but I'm going to look at a few people. And one of them was Abraham, who was barren, and the other one was Hannah. We also have Rachel, and her sister also, who was barren. And these people, I think they have one thing in the common: they all were barren. And this does not mean that barrenness is only the thorn in the flesh. There are other people who had different kind of troubles and weaknesses in their lives, but I'm going to focus on this for now. So these people, because they had a thorn in the flesh, this was a way of God giving them this thing so that they may find a way to seek God, so that he may deliver them. And if you have read your Bible very well, you see that it came to a point where they sought for God diligently, and they humbled themselves before God. And afterwards, all of them, we are told that they had children. Abraham was the father of nations, even though he was barren. Hannah was given a child, a prophet who was named as Samuel. And afterward, he also had many children. Rachel also was given sons. And we see that in our weaknesses, even though we may have thorns in the flesh, when we seek God, God is able to deliver us from these weaknesses. And in able to know that God is able to deliver us from these weaknesses of us, we need to know one thing, and this is the qualities of God. And the qualities of God, they are mentioned throughout the Bible, and I'm going to state others, and also you are going to find them down in the caption below. So the qualities of God, one of them is slow to anger. God is slow to anger towards us. Even though we live in sin, God is merciful to us. God is gracious, and God is long-suffering and patient. When we learn these qualities of God, we are able to identify our weaknesses and see that they are opposite of what God is. For example, when we look at Moses, Moses had a thorn in the flesh, and this thorn in the flesh came in form of anger. Throughout the Bible, even though God was working with Moses mightily, Moses had anger, and at some point, his anger was working against him and at his disadvantage, because at a point he disobeyed God because of his anger, and he faced the wrath of God because God made him not to step into the promised land because of his anger. Because of his anger, he broke the 10 commandments, he struck the rock which he was supposed to talk to, and this again was against the will of God. When we live in our weakness and we are going through the thorns in our flesh, we are able to live against the will of God. But there's one thing that we need to know, that even though we have this thorn in the flesh, God is able to deliver us if we humble ourselves before Him and seek Him. Just like Paul said that there's something that's put in his flesh so that he may humble himself before God. Because God says that in your weakness, His strength is made perfect. So being weak means that coming in a place of humility and humbling yourself before God, that you may find His mercies and grace, which are two of the qualities of God. When we read the book of Luke chapter 18 verse 9, there's a parable of two people who went to pray in the temple. One of them was a Pharisee, and this person was very prideful, and he saw himself above other people. And because of his pridefulness and his comparison to other people, seeing himself better, he was not justified. But this other person, a publican, who was also a tax collector, he humbled himself before God that he may find grace. We see that this person, even though he was a sinner, he was a tax collector, he knew one quality of God, and which is merciful. And this led him to seek for God's mercy. Even though he was a sinner, he had a thorn in his flesh. So whenever we are given a thorn in our flesh with God, it may be addiction, it may be lust, it may be poverty. There's something that is keeping you away from being the perfect person you see, or being successful in your life. And this thing, it only can come if you acknowledge the qualities of God, and also if you are able to seek for His mercies and grace. So I believe you have understand this video and you have watched it and learned something. So please like, subscribe and share. And if you have something in your flesh and a thorn in the flesh, you can learn more about God and know that in your weakness, His strength is made perfect. When you humble yourself before God and seek for His mercy, He's able to exalt you and put you above what you are experiencing. And if also you want to know other people in the Bible who had a thorn in the flesh, maybe you can comment down their names and I'll respond to them. Thank you for watching. Again, subscribe, like, and support in every way that you can. Thank you.